All right. So, Kirish, like, you're able to hear me? Am I audible?
Audible. Maybe you can, speak up a little bit.
All right. So, how about now?
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So, first of all, I welcome everyone to this Inspire meeting for 2020. And so, I'll be the trainer for today's session. And for next 5 hours, you're going to be sit with me, and I'll be walking you through with this product, like what campaign is all about, and what are the features we have, and how you can implement this application on your business requirement as well as your client's requirement. So, all these things we'll be discussing today. And I have my colleagues Suresh. So let me share my screen and I can show you a couple of things here. All right. So everyone able to see my screen?
Yes, Sandy, the screen is visible and your voice is also visible. So yeah, you
Perfect.
can continue.
Perfect. Okay. So I have my two colleagues with me, who's Suresh, and they'll be the co-trainer for today, and Swetika Mahalakshmi, and she's going to be the co-trainer again. And so if you have any questions during the session, so please feel free to ask the question then and there. So these two people, they'll be happy to answer for all your questions. And if in case if we need more resource, we have backup resources as well, just to make sure your questions are answered then and there, right? And so today, we are going to discuss. So we are all gathered here to just to talk about the email marketing. So why email marketing? So there are different applications, or there are different services which provides email marketing. So you can do an marketing through a social media, or like to do a radio ads or TV ads, printing newspapers. Why email marketing? So email marketing, when you invest on email marketing, the returns is going to be the high. And the second thing is like the best part in the email marketing is like you'll be able to reach the right audience. So say for instance, like if you're going to do a TV ad, so only when a person or like when your client is sitting next to the TV, they'll be able to find out the advertisement, and so your product is going to reach them. But nowadays, everyone they have their email on their hand. So on their mobile, they have their email configured. So whenever you shoot out a campaign, on the very next minute, it's going to give a pop-up over there, so they get to know what is your campaign is all about. And like if something is very interesting, so they'll be replying back to your email, and they'll get to know like what is your service or what are the product you're offering. So everything will be better. So that's the reason most of the people they prefer email marketing as the best email marketing, the marketing service. And by using Zoho campaigns, what you're going to do is like today, so I'll show you like how to reach your clients, or like reach the leads, and how to engage with them, and how to understand their needs, like how to track them. And once you send out the campaign, like what are the analytics you're going to show, so you can go and optimize the analytics. So all these things I'll be showing you today. And just to give you like a quick heads up on like our competitors. So these are like a few direct competitors. So we have like a Mailchimp, Sendingrade, Sendinblue, Constant Contact, and Campaign Monitors. So so if any one of you like have an experience with using of any of these applications, so today I'll be walking you through with the application Zoho campaigns, so you can compare like how we are Zoho is going to differ from these applications. But only one thing which I can guarantee you is like when you compare with any of these applications, Zoho campaign is going to be like a much more user friendly. And even like when if you are a first time user, when you start logging in, so you'll be able to create a campaign and send a campaign by your own without having any support or without having a help document. So it's that simple as. So today's agenda, so first we are going to show up like what is the account setup. So I'll be showing you like how to set up an account, and I'll be showing you like how to maintain a list, like what are the ways you can bring in the data. So because whenever you sign up for Zoho campaigns, or whenever you are referring a client, and if your client is going to sign up, so you have to do is like you have to set up an account for them and bring in all the data. It's like wherever the data is, like it can be through a CRM, or it can be on a spreadsheet, or however, like you can bring them. And once the data has been added, like I'll be showing you creating a campaign, like how to create a campaign and what are the ways you can create a campaign. So all these things will be shown up today. And once after that, I'll be giving like 30 minutes break. So you can just like, so if you want to go grab a lunch, you can go and grab the lunch, or like if it's a coffee hours, I'm not sure what time zone. So we have like people from different time zones. So like if it's a lunchtime, you can grab the lunch, and if it's a dinner, you can go and grab the dinner. And once after the break, like we'll be talking about the email automation. So email automation is like it's one of the powerful tool in email marketing. So like we have like two different automation tools like autoresponders and workflow. So we'll be discussing in detail about that. And we'll be discussing about the e-commerce as well. So what are the e-commerce platform we have integration with Zoho campaigns, and how you can use those, and what are the benefits by integrating these applications, or whatever the e-commerce we have, like integrating with Zoho campaigns. And once after that, like I'll be giving you like a 15 minutes break, like just a cup of coffee. And once after that, like we'll be talking about the advanced campaigns. So we have like a regular campaign and advanced campaign. So in advanced campaign, so we have like different types of campaign. For example, like we have like a SMS campaign, social campaign, and even like a A/B testing or survey campaign. So we have like different more. So I'll be walking you through with each and every features today. And the next we'll be talking about the contact scoring and contact tagging. So contact scoring, when it comes to email marketing, so I can say like it's something is very important, because like you'll be targeting the audience. So you have to understand like who are the customers is most engaging on your campaign. So like if I'm going to send a campaign to a person, and if he or she is not opening, like even if I send a 10 emails, they are not opening. So there's no point of me keep on sending an email to them, because they are not interested. They are not ready to open my email. So based on the contact scoring, like I can easily gauge like who are the customers they are most engaging on my campaign, and it'll be more easier for me to go and filter out. And once I understand like people who are most engaging, I can do a lot more promotions to them, and I can expand my business over them. And we'll be talking about the topics. So topics, like again, like it is something like you can manage your database. So we'll be discussing. It's a bit vast topic. So we'll be discussing in detail about this. But for sure, it is like one of the best feature I can tell you. It's going to more helpful for you, and it'll help you in well organizing your data within Zoho campaigns. And we'll be talking about the integration. So what are the integration? What are the in-house integrations we have, and what are the external integrations we have, and what are the direct integration? And if there is no direct integration, like how you can integrate the application with Zoho campaign. So these things I'll be discussing. And finally, like in settings, like we'll be talking like what are the options is there in the settings. And instead of like today, like instead of me giving you like a training or a seminar session, what I've planned is like I want to make this session as lively as I could. So what I've decided is like, so I'm going to take a scenario like wherein like I'll be the partner of Zoho. So for last 5 years, I'm a partner of Zoho campaigns, and I have like a new client. So we have like a new client called as Zilker Education. So they are expecting like a Zoho to configure on their business. And what I'm going to do is like, I'm going to configure an account for them. So based on, so I've clearly walked through with their requirements. So we had a discussion yesterday. So I know completely like what is their requirement. So I'll be there discussing their requirement with you people, and I'll help you like how to set up an account. So you can just imagine that like I'll be the partner, and when you sit with your client, like because you are the future partners of Zoho campaigns. So when you sit with your clients, like you can recall everything whatever we are going to discuss, and like for sure like if any one piece of information is going to be helpful for you. So let's start into the application. So let me just show you the application. All right. And are you able to see the next screen? Like, is it visible? So Kirish, can you confirm, like, are you able to see the application?
Yes, Sandy, I can see the Zoho campaigns dashboard now.
Perfect. So first thing what we are going to do is today is like we are going to create an account for Zilker. So Zilker, they have just signed up an account. So they went to campaigns.zoho.com and they created. So within that, what we are going to do is like we are going to add like few. So they have like different departments like marketing, sales, and analytics. So there are different departments. So we are going to invite few people into the Zoho campaigns. They'll be the users of Zoho campaigns because they are the one who's going to run a marketing campaign. And once after that, we are going to give the privilege because so some business what Zilker they requested is so their marketing team and their analytics team. So there are two people. So whatever marketing team is going to view, analytics team they should not view that. Whatever data is going to marketing team is going to add today. So analytic team they should not be able to visible on that particular contact. So there is something like a data privacy within their organization. So I'll be showing you what privilege you can go and set and everything. So these will be discussed. So first, in order to add a user, first you have to click on the setting. So which is on your left bottom corner. If you click on settings, and we have users and control. So first I'm going to invite a user. So inviting a user. So I'm going to manage user. So I have added a few Zilker users into Zoho campaigns. So in this you can see there are a standard admin, creative and designer. So there are different users. So what this yellow tag is all about. So that is the role which has been assigned. So Lisa, she's the standard admin. She's the one who's going to maintain this account. She's the CEO of the Zilker account. And she's going to she has already added few employees of the Zilker into Zoho campaigns. And in order to add, first you have to click on add on the drop down. And you have a two option. One is you can add a user or first you can add a role. So first let me click on users. It's going to ask you for an email address. So you can type in an email address. So let's assume if I'm going to type in an user, I can go and type in the user and what is the role. So if it's a standard admin, they have a complete privilege. So they'll be able to see whatever the campaign so I'm going to create today, or if anyone is going to create today. So they'll have a complete access. So about the campaign, the templates, contacts, or library. So they are the super admin. So users, you can go and so they have a limited access. They'll be having a access just to their data. So so if I have for example, if Sandy is one of the user of Zilker, whatever contact Sandy is going to add, Sandy will have access only to my own data. So I'll not be able to see Lisa's data because I'm just a user. I'm not an admin. So you can assign a role over here and then you can add. Once you click on add, immediately a verification email is going to be sent out. Once I verify the user, the confirmation, so immediately I'll be added as a user. So once it's been added, I'll be just part of this particular list, and on the yellow badge it will show whether I'm a user or whether I'm admin or I'm a designer. So everything will be shown up over here. So let me just show you what are the privileges and how you can customize it. So we have two predefined privileges, the standard admin and standard user. So these are a predefined. So by default, when you sign up for Zoho campaigns, you'll be getting this privilege. But let's assume I want to create a custom privilege. So I can click on this drop down. I can click on role. So I'm going to put a Zilker rule. So this is how these are the features we have in Zoho campaigns, and you can go and restrict. So I'm going to assign this also. Whoever is going to have this particular role, so I want them to see only their own data, and in the other users' data, they can just view it, but they'll not be able to export the campaign, or they cannot delete, or they cannot modify it. So they'll be able to just view it how the template is, whether this template is good, so they can get an idea. The same applies for the contacts as well. And even for the reports, you can go and customize it, whether they want to delete. So report, I don't want the other users to be deleting it. So let's have everything unchecked. So you can customize it. So we have different options, for example, we have regular and advanced campaign, we have contacts, reports, mailing list. So mailing list is where you'll be storing all your data. So I'll be talking about what is mailing list and how you can customize your mailing list. All these things we'll be discussing in the future. And social campaign. So you can integrate your social media Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. So we'll be discussing everything in detail. So you can restrict the other users as well. So social media, I want the even the other users to go and access it, because like everyone, so they are the admin in social media. So I want everyone to be having access to the campaign as well. And autoresponders. So autoresponders, like for others, like I'm just restricting it. So I don't want the others to be used. And just I can go and access it, but I'll not be able to make any changes over here. And custom fields. So you'll be able to custom fields. So we have already defined few default fields. Apart from that, based on the requirement, you can go and customize like a multiple fields. You have options of creating multiple fields within Zoho campaigns. So it can be like a text field or an integer field or email fields or any field. So you'll be able to create it. So again, like we'll be discussing everything. So once I customize like all the rules, I can save it. So once it's been saved, and if I'm going to add a user, so in the privilege, I can go and see Zilker role. So I can see this role. So I can assign this role to any users. And once like, so once this user is added, so so I have like few users, but like I have a generic mail address. Like, so I recommend like everyone in this organization, they want to send a campaign from that particular email address. So we don't want to use any of our official email ID. So that is what was requested by Zilker. So they have a dedicated email address for marketing. So every now and so they have like few different addresses. For marketing, they have like marketing@zilker.com. And if they're going to do a promotion, so they have a promotion at zilker.com, and they'll be running like a few sales campaign. So they have like different group email addresses. So they don't add any like official mail ID to send out a campaign. So in order to add just the email address, we are not going to add a user. We are going to just add a sender address. So what you can do is like under deliberate, you'll be able to see it like manage sender. So I can go and add a sender address. For example, so marketing@zilker.com. So I can type it. And once I send a verification email, so immediately an email will be triggered to that particular mailbox. Once it's been verified, so that particular address will be added on the sender address. So I can send a campaign from that particular address. So the next thing is like, so I'll be adding this. So right now the account is ready for the Zilker. So we have invited all the users who is going to handle this marketing side, the email marketing side. So we have invited everyone. So next thing is like, we'll be adding the contact. So adding the contact, there are different ways you can go and add a contact into Zoho campaign. So say for instance, like, we have database in a spreadsheet. So Zilker, they have maintained a spreadsheet. So that is like their old data, and recently they have migrated to Zoho CRM. So they have few data in the CRM as well. At the same time, they have it in the spreadsheet, and they have a web form as well. So like, so right now they have like, they're using Zoho CRM form. So when people subscribe to it, like the contact will be added into Zoho CRM, and then from there, like we are going to create a sync. And later they have requested me like they want another form, like they have like a different page wherein like people can go and sign up for different courses. So like we are going to create a form. The form will be created within Zoho campaigns. So in that form, like we'll be having like multiple information, like they're going to capture like email address and like their name, their city, and we'll be giving you like an optional as a radio button or like a checkbox. So on which course, because they do like webinars or they do online training. So there are different courses available in the Zilker. So I'll be sharing you the link, the website link for the Zilker. So once after this session, like you can go and visit, and if you're interested, you can go and take up any session with them. So like based on that selection, so if I'm going to their website and I'm interested in a webinar, so they'll be able to like filter out based on that courses. So first, I'll be showing you like how to add a contact manually. So right now I'll be showing you, like, it's just for your understanding, because there is an option of showing you like adding a contact manually. And I'm not going to recommend this option to Zilker because they have a huge database. So if they started adding one by one, it's going to take days together. So in order to add a contact, like first I'll be creating on manage list. So when you click on contact manage list, So list is kind of a folder which you maintain within the account. So for example, like so you're going to transfer a data. Like so let's take an example. Like so you have downloaded some documents on the from the internet and you have it on your pen drive. So you want to transfer this file into your PC. So what you do is like you connect the pen drive into your PC and you'll find the location on which folder this file has to be added. So you create a folder and you add that particular document into, so whatever the folder you have created, the same concept we are going to implement over here. So we are going to add a contact. Where exactly we are going to add it? So we are going to create a list. So you can give a name for it. So I'm going to name it as Zilker Leads. And I have something called here topics. What is this all about? So in Zilker, like they have like a different topics. So topics, like I'll just give you like a quick heads up over here, but I'll be discussing in detail in the future. So down the line, like on in the next couple of minutes, like I'll be talking in detail about topics. So topic is like you can organize your data. So for example, like Zilker, they have something called Zohalics, Partners, Newsletter. So they have like a different category. So I'm going to add a contact today. So in what category I'm going to add it? So I'm going to do a promotional email to them. So I'm going to send a newsletter. So they are not my partner, or like they're not like if we are not going to do any events. So I'm just running a newsletter to them. So I'm going to categorizing a newsletter. So like you'll be able to categorize your database, because like when you go to the mailing list and when you have a topic managed within the account, so your data will be well organized. And next is like here is something called tell your customers how you know them. So what exactly mean? So and we have made this as a mandatory option. So let's take an example like Zilker, they have, so I said like they have an old database in a spreadsheet. So for like quite long time, they have not targeted them. So after like a year, like they're going to send a newsletter to them. But all of a sudden, like when they sent out an email, so they might, the customers, like they collected these contacts on a trade show, which was happened last year in New York. So they collected these contacts. So when all of a sudden, when they receive an email, what happens is like the customers, they might have forgotten that they have had a discussion with Zilker team in the last event. So they have exchanged the business cards and right now they are sending out an email. So what you can do is like you can just give a brief information like why they are receiving this email. So like you can give a word like we have met you in the so and so event last year. So instead of the recipient, like when they get a notification, they'll be able to see what is the whatever the mention we have mentioned over here. So the customers, what they do is like they don't unsubscribe, or they don't mark your email as a spam email. So they tend to open the email, then they read out the content. So your open rate is going to be high and your unsubscribe and spam ratio is going to be low. When it comes to email marketing, it is highly recommended that like you maintain the unsubscribe, at the same time the spam ratio very less, because if these ratios are high, which is going to highly impact on the customer's domain reputation as well as the email delivery. So we have to maintain the numbers very minimal. So I'm going to just mark it as Zilker. So, okay, I have a list. So I'm marking it as new. So I have added so I've created the list. So within this list, I can go and add the contacts in different ways. So I can add the contact manually. I can import the contact from a spreadsheet. So when I say spreadsheet, you can bring in like a CSV file or XLS or XLSX. So while importing the contact, I'll be showing you like what are the formats we support and what are the information you can transfer. And syncing is like sync process is like we have direct integration with like few in-house application as the external application. So I'll be showing you that. And sign up form. So this is where like, so I've created a list. So Zilker, as I said earlier, like they are requesting to create a form which has to be embedded on your website. So we'll be creating a form like mentioning their courses. So this is where like I'll be using this form. So I'll be creating a form. Once a form is created, then I'll be embedding this on the website. So I'll be giving the code to the Zilker team and they'll be embedding it on a website. So people who visit their website, they can sign up. They are interested in their course. They can sign up it. Once it's been they submit the form, immediately that contact will be added into this particular list. Once it's been added to this list, so either I can go and send a newsletter to them immediately, or I can go and set an automation or workflows. So there are a lot more things can be done once a contact is added to a list. So I'll be showing you. And in order to add the contact manually, so I have options called contact and multiple contacts. So I can either add just one single contact or I can add multiple contacts. So if I add multiple contacts, so I can add their email address, so their phone number, a first name, city. So I can customize fields, what are the fields I want, I can go ahead and add it. So I don't want city right as of now, but I want the last name. So I can say the last name and I can rearrange this as well. Second last name. And once I enter all the information, I can click on save, add, so that the contact will be added. So the contact, when I click on contacts, manage list, so in the Zilker, it shows there is a contact. So let's add a contact. So let me add my contact over here. So let me take just one contact. Okay. So I'm going to mark it as Santosh, and last name, I'm going to just mention a K. So job title, I'm just going to skip it. And company, I'm going to mark it as Zoho. Go ahead. All right, so I added the contact. So this is one way of adding the contact into Zoho campaigns. And another way is as I said, importing the contact. So importing a contact, what you can do is so you can import a spreadsheet. So I'll be showing you how to import a spreadsheet. So I click on contact, I click on manage list. So I'm going to open this list. So I'm going to add a contact. I'm going to import. So importing, it's going to ask you so I have decided I'm going to import a file. So where exactly the file is stored, whether it's stored on my local machine or it's in the cloud. If it's in the cloud, you'll be able to use it a Zoho Docs, Google Drive, or I said, if your document is saved anywhere over here, you can bring in that information. And if it's on the local, so mostly our documents will be on the local machine. But so right now, so everyone, we are aware that the entire globe, we have been locked down. So most of the country has been locked down due to this COVID-19. So it is very easy. If I want to share a document to my team, so what I do is I add it on the Zoho Docs. So wherever the person is, no matter whether they are in India or they are in different country. So right now we are working in a remotely, so they can easily download it. So we cannot expect all the documents should be on the local machine. So it can be on the cloud as well. So at this point of time, in the current situation, so there are high chances the cloud import will be high because people will be transferring the documents through the cloud. But I'm selecting as from local machine. So you can see here, so these are the three formats we support. It can be a CSV, XLS, or XLSX. So whenever I select it, it's going to ask me where exactly the file. So I'm going to select any file. So this is what the Lisa's file. So this is what I'm trying to import it today. And I click on upload. So when I click on upload, so any of your client, Zilker, they have, what they have done is they have so many information on their spreadsheet. But for Zoho campaigns, just email is the mandatory option. Apart from email, so anything is optional. So that's the reason this email field is automatically mapped. So for Zilker, what is important is they want the customer's first name because they're going to send a newsletter with addressing their name. So let me find out the first name. Okay, so unfortunately, I don't have the first name on this particular file. So let me just switch the file. I'm really sorry. All right, so again, I have selected the same file. Okay, so like it is recommended like you can mention your customers like maintain like with a name because so here like my mistake like I have like a different files with the same name. So you can see a Lisa Leads report. So that's the reason there was a confusion. So you can maintain a unique name because you don't get confused. So I'm going to upload this one. All right. So again, like I've done the same mistake. It's a copy of the file. So let's take an example like this is going to be the first name. So I can map it to this field. So anything what you see on the left-hand side, that is going to be the fields which is available in Zoho campaigns. So sorry, in the spreadsheet. So you're going to decide what are the information you're going to transfer from the spreadsheet into Zoho campaigns. So first is like first name. Then comes like the last name. So I'm going to select the last name. And they want like the date. So this is something like date they were when they have signed up. So date field. So let me find out whether the date field is available. The date field is not available. Only the date of birth field is available. So what I do is like, I'll go and create a date field. So I click on add new field. And it's going to be a date field. So just to avoid the confusion. So what I do is like, I mark it as date field, giving a same label. So it's been mapped. So if some field is not available, so you can create a custom field. So that is what earlier I said. So you have a liberty where you can create a custom field. It can be any kind of field, no matter whether it's a date or integer or like a email field. You can create any field. So once you define like all the information, so I have like an email, first name, date, last name. Okay. So so these are the information. So Zilker day one. So the moment I click on upload, like immediately in next few minutes, the sync will be completed, like the import will be completed. Once it's been imported, you'll be able to see all the contacts under contacts manage list. And at the time when you try to import the contact, so let me see whether I can get an example over here. All right, so here's a good example. So whenever we try to import a spreadsheet, you'll be getting a report because you're trying to import a spreadsheet and we are not sure whether that spreadsheet contains any duplicated contact or like any blank fields. So you can see here like this like we are trying to add like 10 contacts. In that 10 contact, unfortunately, all 7 contacts are duplicated contact. So the reason why it has been duplicated is just because this 7 contact is already added into Zoho campaigns. Zoho campaigns like license is based on number of unique subscribers. So when you try to add like multiple contacts, if you're not handling the duplicates, even the duplicated contacts will be adding on your subscription plan. So we don't want that to happen. So that's the reason we tend to ignore all the contacts, like whichever is getting duplicated. And we have ignored few contacts over here. So let's see why these contacts are ignored. Bounced contact. So like it's good like I have seen the bounce contact because like I would have explained you like once after sending out the campaign. So it's a very good example. I got it over here. So whenever you send out a campaign, like if any contact is getting hard bounce, like which means the contact is invalid. So let's take like for example like so right now I'm with Zoho. So tomorrow like so I feel like Zilker is like giving a good pay. Like I've decided my mind to join with Zilker. So today I'm going to quit my job in Zoho and I'm going to join with Zilker. So what happens is like Zoho admin, what they do is like they close my account. They close my email ID. So the santosh.k@zohocorp.com. So that email address will be closed. So whatever newsletter, if you try to send to that particular email ID, it will get bounced. So yesterday, if you try to send it, it will be landing on my inbox. But today, if you try to send it, it will get bounced because I quit my job. So those contacts, it will get ignored. So when you try to add the contact, like, so today my contact, it got bounced. So tomorrow, if you try to add my contact again, it will get ignored because there is no active mailbox. At the same time, it got bounced earlier. So all the bounce contacts will be handling it from our end. And we tend to ignore like few do not mail contacts which are there in the do not mail list, like people who unsubscribes from your newsletter. Group email addresses. Group email address is nothing but like email which starts with sales, info, admin, service, postbox, postmaster. So these are considered to be a group email address, and we tend to ignore these contacts. So the reason we ignore these contacts is because group email address is not meant for email marketing. It's not just for one particular person. It's for a group of people. So let's assume like so today I'm going to create a group email addresses like which is like uh, for the trainers and the co-trainers over here. And I'm going to the Zilker's newsletter. So I'm interested in Zilker product, and unfortunately I entered the group email addresses. The only thing is like, so I personally interested in the Zilker, whatever the service they're going to provide, I'm interested in them. And whatever Suresh or Swatika, like they are not interested in any of those services. So when Zilker sent out a newsletter, even they are going to receive it because they are part of this group email addresses. So when they unsubscribe it, I'm not going to get any emails further. So this group email addresses is not meant for email marketing. So that's the reason we ignore it. But if in case some organization, what they do is like they request to add the group email addresses into Zoho campaigns. So like for sure, like you'll be coming across with this kind of scenarios when you meet your client. Like I'll guarantee you, like at least one client will request you this because they want to add a group email addresses into Zoho campaigns. So as a partner, what you can do is like you can reach out to our support team and you can tell them like you want to add a group email addresses for this particular kind. So our support team, what they do is like they'll send a set of questions to the client or they'll be sending directly to you, which you can share it to the client. And once they get in, like they get all the information filled up, like that, it's a set of 5 or 6 questions. So it's a very basic questions. Once they answer all those questions, like we'll be enabling the option. So once the option is enabled, later on, if you try to add any contacts, any group email address, it will get added. So like this is how like you'll be importing a contact, and I'm sure like you're pretty clear and you're with me like there's no questions or no doubts. And if you have any questions, like please feel free to drop a question because like we have our folks working and they'll be answering all your questions. And next thing is like it's a automated feature and which is being used by most of our customers. Like we'll be showing you like how to sync a contact. So syncing a contact, like there are different ways, like there are different applications we can sync in from the data. So we have, like you can see here, like we have integration with Zoho CRM. You can sync the contact from Zoho CRM, and we have integration with Zoho Meeting. You can sync the data. And if you are into a HR product, like we have like Zoho Recruit, Zoho Creator. So there are different integration. Even we have like a third-party integration, like HubSpot. If some of your client is using HubSpot CRM, you can bring in the data from their HubSpot or Zendesk. So you can bring in like data from different applications. So I'll be showing you like what are the integrations we have. Like during the integration part, I'll be showing you. But right now, I'll be talking about the CRM because most of the Zoho campaigns customer, you'll be getting it there from the CRM. So CRM users will be there highly. So you'll be getting most of the questions from CRM and in related to sync. So if I click on active syncs, so first I'll show you like what are the setups we have within the CRM syncs. Then I'll show you like what are the ways you can create a sync between these two applications. So first, like whenever like this will be the default setting, like whenever you send out a campaign, because Zoho campaigns and Zoho CRM. So these are in-house applications. So we have a very tight integration with these two applications. Once it's been integrated, when you send out a campaign, like we'll be able to push the campaign analytics into Zoho CRM and what are the like for each and every. So in CRM, we have something called related list. So I'll be showing you like how it's going to look like on the CRM as well. So those things and member status will be updated in the CRM, and opt-outs, like if any of your contact is going to be updated, like unsubscribing from your newsletter, that will be updated in the CRM. And next, like push as leads. So push as leads is like is one kind of setup like there are like from CRM, if you sync a contacts into Zoho campaigns, we call that as a sync process. And from campaigns, if you push it to Zoho CRM, so we have an option. So like I believe like you remember that I mentioned something like earlier, Zilker, they have a old data in their database. So that is a spreadsheet. So their request is like what Zilker they have requested me is like they want their database to be cleaned. So they don't want any junk data in the CRM. So as a partner, what I suggested them is like first importing a spreadsheet into Zoho campaigns. Once the spreadsheet is added, I can configure this one, push as leads. So how exactly this works is like, so the data is added into Zoho campaigns. I sent out a campaign to them. Based on the campaign open or click, if people who open the email or click on a link, those contacts, I consider that as an active contact. Because if a mailbox is closed, they're not going to open, they're not going to click it. Only if the people who are interested, they're going to open and click it. So they are the active contacts. So people who open and click, those contacts will be pushed into Zoho CRM. So that is the configuration here. So you can push them as a contacts or you can push them as a leads, because in CRM it is a module specific. So you have like multiple modules like contacts, leads, potential deals. But from our end, we'll be able to push it to leads or contacts. That is one thing. And you can have like define like what are the information at the time when you create a sync, like what are the information you want to bring in by default. So whether it's a first name, last name, email, or just first name and email, or like first name, last name, email, company, address, what are the information? So you can predefine them. So right now I'll show you like how that option is going to work. I'm going to create a new sync. So we have like two types of sync. One is immediate sync and a periodic sync. Immediate sync is like whenever you add a new record into Zoho CRM, immediately it will be added into Zoho campaigns. So when I say add a record, so you might have a question. So the contact, it might be like I'm from any module. So if a record is added on the accounts module, or if a record is added into a deals module, whether it's going to sync into Zoho campaigns immediately. Now, so only these are the modules. When you add a new record in leads module, in contacts module, and custom module. So only when you add a new record, immediately it's going to get synced into Zoho campaigns. So then the next question you'll come up with is like, then how do I add the accounts module and deals module? So we have this periodic sync. So here you can go and sync the leads module, contacts module, accounts module, deals module, and custom module. So you'll be able to bring in. So whenever you add a contact, so let's take like, I'm going to add select like contact. So today I want to bring in, so let's take like a leads module. So leads module. So first I'm going to give a name for the sync. So name is just for your reference, because so today I'll be creating a new lead, new sync. Tomorrow after like a week, like again, like I'm going to create another sync. So I'll be creating multiple things just to differentiate. So how do I differentiate? With the name. So I'm going to mark it as Zilker webinar leads. So I'm going to mark it as, and right now I gave a name for the sync, and I have defined what module I'm going to bring in. And right now I'm going to define in leads module, what are the contacts I'm going to bring in. So whether I'm going to bring in all leads or a custom view or a criteria. So let me just quickly open my CRM. So leads module, like when you select as all leads, it's going to bring in all your leads. So let's assume like you have like 1,000 leads on your CRM account. So you're going to bring in all 1,000 into Zoho campaigns. But like I gave Zilker, they have like a different courses. So I can go and create a field. So Zilker, they want to bring in the contact people who are interested in let's take like an animation course. So I can go and create a view. So this is all leads. Within this all leads, I can create a view. Creating a view is nothing but you're going to group the contacts. So I'm going to name it Zulka new view. And so I'm not sure whether the department, it's not there. So let's take an example like this is course. Unfortunately, I don't have a course field in the CRM. I'm really sorry about that. Course is XYZ. So anything like it can be animation, it can be anything. So I'm going to create a value and I'm going to group it. So this will be grouped. So I have like close to like 20 contacts in this list. So my requirement is like in all contacts, I have like around 1,000 leads, and I don't want this 1,000 leads. I just want this 20. So whatever I created today. Okay, Zulka new view. So I just want to add this 20 contacts into leads into Zoho campaign. So what I do is like I click on the custom view. I click on the drop down. So type in the name. So you'll be able to see. So this is what I said, like Zoho CRM and Zoho campaigns, we have a very tight integration. So the moment I create a view in CRM, on the next second, it got reflected in the campaigns application. So next thing, the third option is like criteria. Criteria is nothing but you can directly put a criteria from Zoho campaigns. Instead of creating a view, you can directly put a criteria. So for example, so this will be an easy example for me. So company name is Zoho. So Zulka, they have like 10 different companies, and today they're going to target a campaign just for Zoho customers. So company name is Zoho. I can directly put a condition. So I gave a condition. I gave a name for the sync. Like what is the name of this sync? We have targeted like what module, and within that module, what are the contacts I'm going to bring in. So earlier I said like whenever you add a contact, so those contact has to be added to a folder. Folders like kind of a mailing list. So that is what I gave an example. So here you can see it's going to ask you like to which list you want to add the contact. So I click on the drop down. So you can see this is the list I've created today. So I'm going to add the contacts into this particular list. And next option is like exclude email opt out. So what happens is like, so let me just go back to all leads. So I open any contact. All right, I'm really sorry, like I refreshed it. Okay. So we have something called email opt-out. So when like, so even like this will be more helpful for your business, and like it's a common scenario, even you'll be following in on your use case. So if I'm going to mark a contact as email opt-out over here, which means this Lisa, she is not interested in my emails or like whatever the emails I sent out from Zoho campaigns, or she has dropped me an email that like she is not interested in my product or the service, whatever I'm providing. So since CRM is my database, I mark it as email opt-out over here. So which means like no emails will be sent to this particular contact from CRM. And again, just to remind you, like earlier I said, like Zoho campaigns has a very tight integration with Zoho CRM. So when you make any changes over here, so the same changes has to get reflected in campaigns. So only then it means like it's a tight integration. So when you mark this option, don't exclude, what happens is like, so only in CRM, it will be considered as a opt-out contact, but still it will be considered as a active contact in campaigns. So it depends on the business and the client. So like you'll be getting like these kind of clients in future. So their requirement will be differs, because like some, they want in both the places to be unsubscribed. And some they may request like just in CRM it should be unsubscribed, and in campaigns they'll be sending a different set of email, so like a marketing email or like a newsletter. And when you select this contact, like this is remove from mailing list. So what happens is like when you select, so I have selected called Zilker newsletter, sorry, Zilker leads new. So this is the mailing list I have selected. So the contact will be removed from this particular list. And next option would be like what happens is like when you select this option, the contact will be removed from this particular list. Let's assume like this Lisa, like she is present in multiple lists. I have added her in Zilker marketing, Zilker newsletter, and Zilker sales as well. So right now, this one is updated only in the newsletter. So she'll be removed only from the newsletter, but she'll be still active under the marketing, whatever the list I've associated for the marketing and the sales, she'll be available there. So just to make sure, like once it's been opted out in CRM, if you want to remove her from completely from Zoho campaigns, you can go and select this option. Remove from Zoho campaigns, no matter whether she's associated in one list or she's associated in multiple lists, it will be completely removed. And what is this last option? Move to do not mail. So what exactly this option is all about is, let's assume like, so when you sync the contacts in future, like we'll be handling these contacts because it has been opted out in CRM. So we tend to ignore those contacts. But like when you try to import a contact, like you're going to import a spreadsheet, so we have to handle this. If it is deleted, we'll not be able to handle it. Only when it is unsubscribed, which is like move to do not mail list, it will be handled. So you can move them. So if you think like there are chances the contact might, like when you try to import it, the contact might get added accidentally. So in those cases, you can select this option called move to do not mail. So you can make sure like in no which ways like the contact is going to get added into Zoho campaigns, unless otherwise Lisa by herself, like she go to the Zilker website and sign up for the newsletter. Only through the sign up, once a contact is marked as opt out, and only with the sign up form, he or she will be added into Zoho campaigns. And next option is like converted leads. So since we have taken a leads module, so like on your business, like for leads, you'll be sending a set of campaign, and once they become a customer, like you'll be sending a different set of campaign. So for the customers, you don't send a promotional email. So you'll be sending a different set of emails. So only for the leads, like initially you'll be sending a promotional email. You'll try to market your product. You'll try to make the customers to purchase your product. Once they purchase the product, the next thing is like you'll be sending the updates about the product or what is the new features going to be launched. So something will be an updated related email. So the lead will be converted. So once a lead is converted, it will be a different set of campaigns. So that has to be removed. So still it will be considered as a lead. And what happens is like, even though they are a customer, we try to send the promotional email, the whatever we are trying to market. So those emails will be sent out. So that's the reason we have this option like don't exclude. When you market as don't exclude it, in CRM, once you convert a contact as lead, once it's been converted, this contact is converted as a, sorry, this lead is converted as a contact, in campaign still it will be considered as a lead. And when you select this option, it will be removed from the mailing list. And here is where, like as I said earlier, like it's a periodic sync. So here is where like you'll be defining like whether this sync is going to be just a one-time sync or it's going to be a recurring sync. So if it's a recurring sync, you can select like a daily, weekly, and monthly. So you can select that option. And on the very next screen, like where you'll be defining. So it's the same concept what we saw in the import. So you're going to define like CRM is your database. You have like a lot of information about your customers when they sign up to your product, or like when you met them, or like what their company name, email address, phone number, all those information. But Zoho campaigns, so for Lisa, these are the two informations required. So Zilker, what they do is like email is by default, it is mandatory. On top of email, they want the last name. So they don't go with the first name, they go with the last name. So these are the two information important. But later, if they decided like they want like some more additional information, what they can do is like they can click on this map more field. So lead owner, say they want to know like who are the lead owners. So in CRM, like you have lead owner and the contact owner. Whoever is going to add, like if you have multiple salesperson, so like so each salesperson they'll be the lead owner for their contact, their own contact. So if I'm one of your salesperson, so if whatever contact I'm going to add, like I'll be the sales like a lead owner or the contact owner. So this lead owner, that field is not available in Zoho campaigns. So what I can do is like I can go and see whether that any related field is there. If so, I can go and map it. If not, I can create a new field by clicking on this checkbox. The moment you click on the checkbox, a custom field will be created by clicking on add. So once you map all the information, you can click on initiate. So the moment you click on initiate, it's going to give you an option. Like it will take like a maximum of 15 to 20 minutes time for the sync to be completed. And again, it depends on the data, like how many data you're going to transfer. Like if it's like, if you're going to try to sync like 50,000 or 100,000 contacts, it's not going to take 20 minutes. It's going to take like 30 or 40 minutes time. So if it's less than like 5,000 or like 10,000 contacts, within 15 minutes, the sync will be completed. So once the sync is completed, you'll be getting the same sort of report what you saw earlier, like in the import, like how many contacts has been how many contacts has been added, how many contacts has been ignored. So all those reports. So I'm trying to find out whether I can get a report. So all the syncs are immediate syncs. So just give me a minute. All right, so what I'll do is like I'll just quickly create a sync and I can show you how exactly it's going to look like. So I'm going to follow the same step. So I'm going to bring in all leads. So it's going to be the same. Okay. So you'll be getting this report, like it'll show up like how many contacts has been added, how many re-added contact, once a contact is deleted, and then if you try to add the contact, that will be considered as a re-added contact, and how many contacts are duplicated. So that will be shown up over here, and the ignored contacts is going to show up over here. So as I said earlier, like we tend to ignore few contacts like bounce contact, unsubscribed, or people who are in the do not mail list. So those contacts will be shown up over here. So this is like a contact seeking the contact. So once a contact is added, so next thing what we do is like I'll be showing you like how to create a segmentation. So what is segmentation? So let's take an example like you have a master list. So within that master list, you create segment based on a condition. You're going to group a contact. So what I explained in Zoho CRM. So in Zoho CRM, we call that as a view. So we gave a condition. So here it is. So we gave a condition like, so course is XYZ. So this is what the condition we gave. So if we give the same condition in campaigns like that, we call it as a segment. So segment, we have like two types of segment. So one segment, one is like a normal segment. So I'll show you how it works. So I'm going to mark it as Zoho leads, or like mark it as Zoho customers. So company name is Zoho. This is the condition. And you can have multiple conditions. So at the maximum, you can have 6 conditions, and all these conditions, it can be an and condition or it can be an or condition. It's completely your choice and it's your requirement, or like your customer's requirement. So I gave this, I save it over here. So I'll be able to see who are the customers. So I have only one customer because so I'm the only person from Zoho. So like this is the contact. So this is like, it's a normal segment. So for each and every customer, so let's assume like I have like 20 companies. Instead of me creating 20 different segments, I can create one possibility. Like how I can do is like, I'm sorry. So I can create a bulk segment. Bulk segment is like, I'm not going to create like 20 different segments. I'm going to select based on which field. It is like company. So company name. Let me do one thing. Like let me pick a different list because like I think like they should be have a company name data. Let me quickly find out. So if there is a company name, it will be more helpful. All right. So in this, like only one contact has company name. So I'm going to create a bulk segment. So company name. So I selected and I have saved it. Proceed. So you saw like only one segment is created because only one company is updated. So if I have like 10 different companies, so all it's going to group like 10 different companies. And at the time when I sent out a campaign, so let's assume like right now Zoho, within Zoho, I have like 20 contacts. And if I go and group it, let me just try to add another contact. So I'm going to add it again. So I'm going to add it. So I'm going to save it right now. So two segments, Zilker and another one is for Zoho. So when I try to send out a campaign, either I can go and target the entire mailing list, that is my master list, or I want to target a campaign just for Zilker customers. I can go and send a campaign just for Zilker, or like just for Zoho. So I'll be showing you like at the time when we send out a campaign, I'll show you like how the segment is going to look like and how the bulk segment is going to look like. I'll be showing you that. And next thing is like I'll be so I said like we are going to create a form for Zilker. So just to mention their courses. So we have forms. Create form. I'm going to create a form. So first you can give a name. And again, this form, like the name is for your reference. So you can give any name and nowhere it's going to reflect on your customer's end. So I'm going to select a mailing, like a template. So here you can see we have different types of forms. We have compact form, we have a banner form, long form, and we have come up with a pop-up form, blanket form, and there is a library as well. So whenever you design a form, so you can save it on the library. So compact, like so you'll be able to capture like two information. So one is email. Email is mandatory because it's an email campaign. So it is email is mandatory. Apart from email, so you'll be able to capture any one information. You can ask for the customer's name or like their company name. So any one additional information. So it's like compact. It will be like a vertical and it will be like a horizontal. So you have form. Or and if you're going to capture multiple information, so we have this long form. So long form you can capture multiple information. And pop-up form is like let's assume like let's take an example. Zilker, they're going to do a promotion, so they're going to conduct a free animation course like coming Monday or so. Next week Monday they're going to do a course which is completely an online course. So people who visit their website, so they want a pop-up form should be popped up. So once after they spend few timings. So let's take like okay, I think like this one, it looks good. Hello, it's good. So I take this one. So I'm going to capture two information. and which is going to be the name. So I want the attendee's name. So I'll be sending a newsletter addressing with their name. So email and the name. And next, I'm going to design it like, so if I want to change the image, I can change the image. And if I want to change the color, I can go and change the color. And next, like width, I can go and adjust it. So whatever the size. So I think like this one, it looks good. So height, I can go and adjust it. So, and even you can use the numbers as well. And here is where like this is a pop-up form. So here is where I'm going to define when this pop-up form should be popped up. So when someone enters to my website, the Zilker. So whether it's going to pop up from the center or it's going to come in from the top left, top right, bottom right. So I'll be showing you the preview as to how it's going to look. So let's take like, so let's have it as a center and see how it looks like. So this is how it looks like. So, and next I can go and enter like a animation, like, so I can go and preview this as well. So this is how the animation, instead of coming from the slide, it'll show up. And I can select it as on exit. So so I don't want like on entry. So if someone visit, because so if someone comes to my website and only when they exit, like first I want, so whatever offer I give, so I want the Zilker's promotion and everything over there on the website. So about Zilker and what Zilker does, what are the courses they have. So everything, so they might have like a few testimonials. So everything the customers can go and see that. And before they exit from the website, so I want this window to be popped up so that they'll get to know like, okay, so there is a online courses which is going to happen. So I can go and have this, or I can go and define it as a scroll. So scroll is like once they scroll like certain amount of percentage, like let's say like they are halfway through the screen, or 5% or 10%. So you can define the sizes. So like how many percentage once they like let's say if this is the page, like if they scroll like at 10%. Okay, let me go to the home screen. So here this like I have a very small scroll, unfortunately. So once I scroll it, like I'll be getting it. And specific timing once they spend like few minutes. So here is the option. I can set a timing like once someone visits a website, once after they spend like 25 seconds or 30 seconds. So I can go and set this up. And this one on closing the pop-up after. So what exactly this means? So let's assume like I'm a client to the, like I'm a visitor to Zilker. So I see this pop-up and right now I'm not interested in this particular course because I've already completed this animation course. So they have done, so in the last vacation, like in the last summer, they have completed this course. So I've gone through with this course. So I'm not interested with this. I just click on this close button. Again, after a few minutes, like after like 30 minutes or 40 minutes, again, I'm going to come back to Zilker's website. I'm going to read out like, because they have like different courses and different articles which I can go and read out. So I'm coming back to Zilker. And again, the same pop-up is going to come up. So like second time, what I'll do is like, so I'll be patient. I'll be closing that. Third time, if I'm going to come back tomorrow or like even after like a 1 hour later, if I again receive get the same pop-up, the customers, they might get frustrated. So we don't want such thing to happen. So you can define a time limit. So once they close it after a day. So if I'm going to close it today, like only after next 24 hours time, this pop-up form is going to come up. So this is like pop-up form. So I hope like, so I'm very slow and steady and you're with me, like we all are in the same page. And if in case if you have any questions, like please feel free, because like we have like a few resources, like we have Suresh, Svetika, and like so we have like another one additional resource which is like a Ranjit on the chat side. So if you have any questions, like please feel free to go ahead and ask the question, and I'm pretty sure like your questions are answered instantly, like within like a few seconds, like it will get answered. And if there is a high volume, it may take like few minutes, but not an hour for sure. So I'm going to change the template. So I'm not going to use this one. So I'm going to change the template. So what I do is like, so I'm going to go with a long form because earlier I said like, I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to capture a multiple option. So what I do is like, let me delete this one. So go back. Because this form is going to be purely related to courses like Zilker. They offer multiple courses. So the course specific should be there. So it will be the best form will be the long form. So let me show you that. Zilker long form. So I can select. So here, like I have like a three. So these are like a few default fields like contact email, first name, last name. Apart from this, like let's take like, so we'll give an option called course, like we'll create a custom field. So it's a multi-select pick list. So let's take like, social marketing. So just to understanding, like I'm going to market. Social marketing. So they're going to train people like email marketing, how to do a email marketing, because so the efficient way of doing an email marketing and a social marketing. So these are the options. So I can go and find out that particular field. I can create a custom field. So I can drag it and drop it. So based on this selection, I'll be creating a filter because someone selects marketing, email marketing. So I sent a campaign based on email marketing, what they are interested. And if they're, so let's take like if they are interested in like let's take like they have a different option called marketing, sales, or anything. So based on the selection, like I'll be filtering the contacts. So all these contacts is going to get added into one particular master list. Within that master list, I'll be creating a segment. One way is like I can create a segment, I can split the contact into different groups, and I can target a campaign to the different groups. And second thing is like I'll be sending a campaign like I'll trigger a workflow which will go and separate the contact from the master list. It will go and separate the contact. So based on their interest. So that will work. And here like you can go and so when you click on save and press, once you design a form, so it is completely customizable. So I believe you remember that like I've said like Zoho campaign is going to be not only Zoho campaign, Zoho is going to be a completely user friendly. So if you want to change the colors, like everything is like self-explanatory. So you can go and change it. If you want to change the body size or field, whatever, it's like anything, you can go and customize it. So let's take like a black. So okay, black, it's too dark. So we'll go with light color or white color. So anything, you can go and customize everything. Once you customize your template, you can click on save and proceed. So the template is ready. So this is the template which I'm going to give. And what I recommend Zilker is like, I asked them to click on this get code. They'll be having a different code. So we have like a website code. That is like we have WordPress code. If your website is hosted in WordPress, you can copy this and you can embed it on your website. Short URL and QR code. I'm really sorry. And we have a button, raw HTML. We have no CSS, no script, Facebook. So Facebook, like you can embed a form on your Facebook page. Once you integrate it, like you can embed a form on your Facebook page. So I'll be talking about like how to integrate it and how to do a social campaigning. So here, once you have the form, like when someone subscribes, you'll be able to do a email campaigning to them. And iframe codes. So we have different types of codes. And if you're like really aware about like codes, and if you're into like a developing side, so I'm pretty sure like you are aware about what is this website code is about all about, and WordPress code, what is no CSS, no HTML. So these will be familiar. And at any point of time, if you need any assistance as a partner, what you can do is like, because clients, they are not going to directly contact Zoho campaigns. If they want, they can directly contact, but still, like as a partner, you'll be the first point of contact for the clients. So like if you have any questions, you can reach out to our support line. So we have a dedicated support for campaigns. For Zoho campaigns, we have a dedicated support. At the same time, we have a dedicated support for partners. So you can reach in either ways. So any which ways, you'll be getting a solution. Once you get a solution, you can just convey the same to your customers. And you can set a response. So whatever form you create within Zoho campaign, it's going to be a double opt-in form. So when I say a double opt-in, what exactly it means is like, so when someone clicks on, so let me just hold this form. So if I click on join now, immediately a confirmation email will be sent to my respective mailbox. And only when I confirm it, like it's going to send out the contact is going to get added into the database. So that is like double opt-in confirmation email. And this is how the email it looks like on a PC. And if it's a mobile, like this is how it's going to look like. So we will be giving you the preview, both mobile and PC. So you can set it's a double opt-in, and you can set a response like what should be one. Someone submits a form, like what should be the thank you page. You can set a response on that. And once they confirm it, like what should be the confirmation page, those things you can go and set everything. And there is something called show advanced option. So the advanced option is like whenever a contact is added through a campaign sign up form, like it will be added into Zoho campaigns. So in advanced options, what and all you can do is like you can push them into Zoho CRM. So the moment the contact is added, you can push them into Zoho CRM, or you can add them into a workflow. So these things can be done. And whenever you select a push to CRM, like it's going to ask you like which contact, whether it's like existing contact or it's going to be a new contact. So it's always better to have like existing contact. And configure mapping, like you'll be able to select the account. So this is the account, and I'm going to select which module, like it's going to be a leads module, and what are the information. And if you're going to push it to a leads module, make sure like you have the company name field, because for leads, company name is like it's mandatory. Only when we have a company name, like we'll be able to push the information into Zoho campaigns. Sorry, Zoho CRM. And if you want to have, like, if you're capturing like any additional fields, like even you can go and select it. So here it shows all the campaign fields, and it'll ask you like to which CRM field you want to map them. So once you map all those information, so you can go and save it. So it's going to push up, it'll give you a report. So right now, like we have created an account for Zilker. So we have created a mailing list for them. So we have added all the users. So we have given a privilege to them. So which user should have what privilege. So everything we have given it. So we have like the data added into Zoho campaigns. So next thing is like we'll be creating a campaign. So creating a campaign, again, like it's going to be a very user friendly. I'm pretty sure like it's going to be completely a cakewalk for you. So if you click on create campaign, first it's going to ask you a name. Name again is just for your reference. So Zilker webinar campaign. I'm going to give it like this. Subject line. Subject line is something is very, very, very important, because this is for your customer's reference. And subject line, it should be something very short and crispy, and it should be something relevant to your campaign content. And we as a Zoho campaign, like we highly request like our customers to not to use any special characters like a $sign or percentage or like hashtags or anything on the subject line. The only reason is like when you have like special characters on the subject line, there are high chances your emails can be classified as a spam email. So we don't want your emails to be classified as a spam email. because this is an email marketing application. The moment you send out the campaign until it reaches the recipient mailbox, there are so many anti-spam services which is going to scan your email. So if they find out there is something fishy, the emails will be put onto the spam folder, or like the recipient's domain might get blacklisted. So for that reason, so use like very short and crispy subject line, which is something relevant to your campaign content. And if you want to use any emojis, like we have like few emojis, you can use it like a smiley or any emojis. If you wish, you can use it. And if you want to be very professional, like if you want to have your customers first name or last name on the subject line or any other custom information, so you can use this. So we call this as a merge tag. So in the other application, they call it as a mail merge. So in Zoho campaign, we call it as a merge tag. The F name is nothing but that is a first name. So first is like it's a merge tag, and second we call it as customer. So the customer, we call this as a mail default value. So what happens is, like, for example, if I'm going to send a campaign today and few customers, like they don't have a first name. So the first name field is empty. So you remember I said like Zilker, they prefer adding the last name, not the first name. So if they've accidentally added the first name over here, so it will, instead of sending it blank, it will go and replace with customer. And this customer can be customized. So you can use any phrase, it's completely your choice. And this F name, it should be in an exact same format. It should be on an uppercase and it should be F name. And next would be the pre-header. Pre-header is something like you can summarize like what is your campaign. So if you have given like a campaign, like a one paragraph or two paragraphs, so you can summarize it like in one line or two line. So when a customer gets a notification along with your subject line, they will be getting the pre-header. So they'll get to know like what is your campaign is all about. So when a customer, before opening the email, so when they get a notification on the mobile, so they'll be able to see what is the pre-header. So they'll get to know like what is your campaign is all about. And pre-header is something like it's a optional. So if you want, you can use it. If not, you're perfectly fine. And next would be the sender detail. So so by default, under which account you have logged in, that will be the sender detail. So right now I have logged into the Zilker CEO's account, which is like lisa@zilker.com. So either I can send a campaign from her email address, or I can send a campaign from some other's email address. So their user's email address. So I believe you remember that, like I said, like Zilker, they have a policy where like they don't want to send a campaign from their official mail ID. So they want to send a campaign from a generic mail address. If it's a marketing email, marketing@zilker.com. So when I click on the drop down, so still I have not verified it because I don't have access to the Zilker's marketing email address. So that's the reason I'm not able to verify it. So once Zilker, they have verified it, it will get added on the drop down. So that's the reason it says it's in a grayed out. It's not visible. So as of now, like, so for like, so we have like one Zoho customer, like they have added. So I can set a campaign from this email address or like from the Zilker itself. And there is another way of adding a user. So I earlier in the first session, like the time when we started, look, I said like you can click on settings, manage sender, and you can add the sender. The second way is like, while creating a campaign, instead of you going to the settings, we are getting out of this page, instantly you can create this add sender. Type in the address marketing@soandso.com and check this box. A verification email will be sent to the respective mailbox. And once it's been verified, it will be added on the drop down. Until it has been verified, it will show up like this, like it's a grayed out. So you can send campaign from any email address, and you can receive replies to any email address. You can see here, you can receive a reply. And sender name, it can be either your name or your company name. So it's completely your choice. So whichever your customers are familiar, so you can use any name. Zilker. And replay tracking. So replay tracking, we have this option. So earlier, like, so we have like few past partners and customers, they have come up with a request wherein like they want the option to track the replay. So let's assume like Zilker, they're going to send a campaign to Santosh, so which is me. So they're going to send a campaign. So Zilker, they have used Zoho campaigns. So the email is coming through Zoho campaign server, but when I try to reply it, it's going to directly land on the Zilker's mailbox. So if I'm going to send a reply to Lisa, it will be directly landing on the Lisa. But Zoho does not know like that I have replied to Lisa. Later, we have customers who requested to give a analytics, like how many customers they have replied it. So they want a report. So what Zoho does is like, so what we have done is like, we started creating a report. And how we accomplish this is like, when you turn on this option, we create a virtual mailbox. So we create a virtual mailbox in Zoho Mail for Zilker. So whenever an email is like, if Santosh is gonna reply back to Lisa, first the email will be landing on the virtual mailbox. From the virtual mailbox, it will get forwarded to whichever email address. So let's take like the CEO, like Lisa. So let's take her. So the email will be forwarded. So Zoho will have a copy of it. And again, it's a virtual mailbox. So once once we have a track on it, we'll be able to provide the analytics, how we can give the analytics, how many replies and so everything. So this is how we have accomplished it. So when a customer requests for any feature or when a partner requests for any feature, Zoho, we give high priority for that. So whenever you have a feature request, like you personally, so on your account, or like if any of your clients are having any request, please feel free to a support team or project management team. So directly we'll be able to see the feasibility of that particular feature. If it's feasible, for sure we'll get all those features added into Zoho campaigns. So whenever if you're going to go have a meeting with your clients, so you can put these words because they'll get a confidence, because Zoho, if they are ready to customize a feature or they're ready to develop a feature just for their business, so they'll give a positive impact over there. And second option of sender address is like CRM owner. So when you select this option, the emails will be sending out from a lead owner or the contact owner from the CRM. So next would be the recipient. So this is where I said like I'll be showing you how the segment and bulk segment is going to look like. So let's take, okay. So this is the list. So I can either send a campaign. So this is how the bulk segment looks like. So if I click on select segment, it's going to show up like whether I want to send a campaign to Zilker or just for Zoho customer. I can go and select it. So this is how it looks like. The icon you can note. So this is how it looks like bulk segment, and it will give a label which says like bulk segment. And segment, it will show up like this. And if you have created multiple segments, it will show up like one underneath. So one by one. So you can select either the segment or you can select the master list. So let me select like any audience. And finally, you'll be drafting the content. So drafting a content, like, as I said, like it's going to be a very simple option. So first we have like predefined templates. So Zoho, we have already designed few templates for you. We have like close to 300 plus templates on library, so which you can use it. And every now and then we'll be refreshing the template. So you can use any of those templates. You can customize according to your business and you can send out a campaign. And or if you think like you want to build a template from the scratch, you can go with basic template. And the best part over here is like any template which is created within Zoho campaign is going to be a responsive template. No matter whatever device your customers are going to open or your clients are going to open, it will be responsive. It can be a tablet or it can be a mobile or it can be a PC. The template, it looks responsive. So there will be no formatting issues. And HTML editor, if you have a HTML code, you can add the code. And if you want to make any changes, you can use this HTML editor. And plain text is like, it looks exactly like how you sent out the campaign from the Outlook or Gmail. And the only thing is like when you use the plain text, we'll not be able to give the analytics, like how many customers they opened the email, how many customers they clicked on the link. So all those analytics. So that is plain text. And import and upload is like some organization, they have their unique color codes and they have a dedicated designing team. So they design their own template. So in those cases, they can import an HTML file. So either the file can be on a cloud or it can be on the computer. And so when you click on the recent campaign, whatever the campaign you have sent recently, it's going to show up. And let me show you the pre-designed template. And as a partner, like I highly recommend you guys to go and focus on this pre-designed template, because when a customer is going to build a template, so it is like it's their own HTML code. So Zoho does not have a complete control on those codes. But when you design a template within Zoho campaigns, like we can give an assurance that like the template is going to look good no matter on whatever device it is. So when you meet your client, or when you're going to capture the requirement from your client, or when you're going to give a demo for your client, so you can target this pre-designed template or basic template. Basic template is nothing but building a template from the scratch. It's the same option what we are going to see right now within the pre-designed template. So we have like, these are the pre-designed templates we have. So you remember, like I said, like we'll be refreshing the template every now and then. So right now, everyone, we are aware that like we are in a paramedic that is like COVID-19, like most of the country, they are in lockdown. So we from India, like for last like close to 20 days, we are in lockdown and we are working from home. So if you want to send a campaign to your customers just to create an awareness how severe this virus is, so you can use any of these templates. So just give me 1 minute.
Hi, Santosh. Kirish here. I think
Yeah,
your
Chris.
throat needs some rest at least. It's been more than 100 minutes of you continuously talking. So why don't you
Okay,
take a 15-minute break?
yeah, like we can go for a small break, like so like probably like we can go for a 15 minutes or 30 minutes break. I'm not sure whether it's a lunchtime over there.
Sure,
So
we can
whatever you
probably
look
take a 15-minute break
like, I
now.
will.
The 30-minute break probably can come a little
Perfect.
later. Thanks for going nonstop for the
Okay.
past 100+ minutes and making it interesting enough, because not one person so far asked for us to break. They're also engrossed in the training that
Okay.
they never brought it up. So all of you guys, let's give Santosh's throat some rest. Let him relax. And why don't you all grab a cup of coffee and we can resume in the next 15 minutes.
Perfect.